Starting the stream right now, by the way.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna go piss and I'll be right back.
Sounds good. We'll talk with chat. What up, chat? What up, Five watching? Hello, Patrick. How's your day going so far? If I'm being honest with you, I woke up like 3 hours ago. I was binge queuing last night. Not a good day yesterday. Damn dog, I'm getting Discord notifications. That's really annoying. Battle pass, please. It's out. What are you talking about, you dong? When you refer to yourself, do you refer to yourself as I dong?
Howdy ho.
Because to me, you're you dong, but to you, you're I dong. No, hey, what's up, dog?
Hey, dog. And dogs in chat.
Yo, what's up, Michael Jordan? That's not your fucking name, you liar! What's up, Eric Weeb? You fucking like anime, you pussy? That was a good apple. Any plans of BP giveaway? Yeah, if you're giving away a BP to me. I'm back. What is the topic, teacher? Answers and questions. What do I think about the chat wheel voice lines? Honestly, I don't really care that much about the chat wheels. I just care that I can dodge people in ranked now. That's a great thing that we all have going for us now. Have I bought the BP? Hell yeah, dude. Are you kidding me? I bought that shit the moment it dropped. Even though I'm broke.
Yes. How she goes.
It is. Valve has some way of like convincing people who can't afford to buy food to buy Battle Pass.
Yeah, I know.
They have quite the business model going on with Dota.
Just milking all of the homeless people who can only play Dota in their land cafes.
Dude, I'll be homeless soon enough at this rate, dog.
Not true.
One of these days. Do you ever wish that tea just instantly steeped? Because you know, when I make a cup of tea, it's like I want the tea. I don't want this delayed gratification bullshit.
Yeah, it's also super it's super easy to oversteep tea. Like a very it's one of those things where like you're steeping it, and if it's understeeped, you're just kind of like, it's just like flavored water. It's like drinking LaCroix. And then it gets to a point where it's like there's the perfection, and then literally 2 seconds over that, it's like the most bitter shit you've ever put in your mouth.
Dude, have you had the single atom of grape LaCroix? It's really good. They just put a single atom of grape in water.
Yeah.
It's fucking delicious.
I actually do have some relatively good instant tea that my fiance's mom brought back from the Philippines, and it's quite good. It's like milk tea that you just put water in. It's like powdered milk tea. Very
You
delicious.
know, in all my time that I stayed at the Moonduck House and learned about the casting and esports world under Zyori, what was the most important thing that I learned from him was that if you slow pour the kettle water through the tea bag into your cup, it like half steeps it instantly
Huh.
because
Do
of
you not have you not poured it through before?
no, I didn't.
You just poured the hot water, then put the tea bag in it.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, God, you're such a noob, dude. What? How are you?
Well,
How are you 7K? There's no way you're 7K. That's a
dude,
joke.
I'm not 7K. I'm fucking 6K because I lost 300 MMR last night. Thanks, Joni. I'm just kidding. He gave me 200 bucks. I shouldn't keep. I sent him a picture of all my losses, and he's like, "That makes me feel physically ill." I shouldn't give him shit over that. He gave me a lot of money. I can buy an air conditioner with the amount of money that he gave me. He didn't tell me what he did. He wouldn't tell me. That just makes me think that Joni's like a surgeon or something. Are you still there? What's going on here? Did I just get ditched? I did. The chair's empty. The chair is a lie. Did Donnie die? All right, guess time to talk to you, chat. What's up? G Fuel. Oh, dude, I love sugar-free Red Bull. I love sugar-free Red Bull. I like Monster. I don't mind Monster. I only drink the sugar-frees because I'd rather cancer than to be fat. Because I was fat before and it really sucked. All right, dog. What's the joke here? What's the gag? Did you bring some tea related thing?
No, I just want to go make myself some tea. You're making me thirsty.
Oh, okay.
Inspiring me, actually.
You're making me thirsty in a different kind of way.
I know.
It's
Can't
those
help
pecs,
myself.
man. Can't wait for next patch. So bored.
How are you bored? That's just so versatile. You can play whatever you want in pubs.
I like this patch a lot. This is actually like the best Dota patch that I've ever played, I think.
I'm picking like Spirit Breaker and Abaddon and Lion. Fucking super fun heroes.
I only play 5 roles that don't play like the traditional 5 role, where like I'll play like Brew, Abaddon, uh, Doom. I plan on trying Doom because it's not a traditional 5 role. Nature's Prophet.
Yeah.
Damn, that tea's oversteeped.
I told you, it's impossible to get perfectly steep tea. You have like 1 second of leeway and then you're fucked.
Yeah, dude, I was fat, man. I was like 180 pounds at 4'11". I was actually obese.
Now you're just like a jacked hunk of muscle.
I know it's just crazy, being basically just like solid rock.
What happens? Your body just stretches you out this way. It's like, all right, we got to fix this kid, and they just like they took you and they just pulled you apart, distributed the fat where it's supposed to be to your boobs and your butt, and then you got a sex change, and you turned out as Andrew Jenkins.
I don't remember that happening, but I trust you a lot, so I'll take your word for that.
Yeah.
That would explain the vagina that I have.
See. I'm gonna get my tea, and then we can start.
Congrats on all that weight loss. I actually did it in a really unhealthy really unhealthy way. Wasn't good. So then I was unhealthy in a different way. I basically, anytime I wanted to snack, which was a lot, I had a problem with snacking. So I would eat mini pizzas in bed watching Family Guy at like 10 p.m. after dinner, just because I made a habit of it. You'd be surprised how much of your hunger and what you want to eat is actually just habit. Like you get into the habit of watching a show and you eat something, or you get into a habit of drinking tea and you eat something, and you can't do that thing and feel right without eating. And that's the problem, is that I associated eating with so many different things. And the the way that I broke that association, and this is the unhealthy part, is that I ate ice instead. So anytime I wanted to like snack on something, before I would order a fucking large Domino's extra cheese, triple cheese pizza. And then I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna eat ice cubes while I'm like watching this show or whatever. And it gave me and gum, ice cubes and gum. And it was like it was not the same, but
You felt weird using your mouth for something.
yeah, it's like it kind of tricked me, but it wasn't healthy. People were saying to me like, "Oh man, you've literally lost weight." And I was like, "Oh, thanks, I appreciate it." And they're like, "No, like, you look ill. Like it looks like you have cancer." People were like legitimately worried about me with how quickly I lost weight. It was like over 2 to 3 months. I went from 180 to 140, and then that year I grew to 6 foot. I was a
Yes,
late bloomer.
that's not healthy at all.
No, and that's the problem, is that I came back and I was like way taller too. So like it was at the same time that I hit a growth spurt. I went to university young. I was 17, and then when I was like a late bloomer. I looked like a fucking prepubescent boy until I was 18.
All
Two
right.
get big. You want to get started?
Yeah, let's get started.
Okay.
Let's get started. All right. Well, welcome everybody to Alchemy Answers, episode 31. Thank you for taking some time away from your battle pass grinding. I know everybody's excited about that. But we're going to take some questions from Patreon and also from chat, and we'll just get into some nice Dota knowledge. Super fun. Anybody else having audio issues? Because I'm not, and I checked the audio on the stream. Doesn't seem to be bad either. But if you are having audio issues, let us know so we can fix it before we dive into the questions.
I'm trying to figure out Discord, by the way, where these questions are. We did Tuesday the 30th, so anything after the 30th.
Yeah.
Okay, May 1st. Okay. Question number 1 from CodeRad. He says, is Sven Offlane still an acceptable pick? I think so. I mean, I think if it's a good good physical resist sort of game where the enemy team has a lot of physical damage and you want a hero that can stun and provides that physical shield, you can build into the typical Sven like Vlad's Crimson Blink. I think it's good. I don't think it's top tier, but I don't think it's bad. Donnie and I were just talking before we actually started the show about how this patch is one of the most interesting patches because you can kind of just pick anything. It seems like most heroes have some sort of niche, and all the heroes are not bad enough that you would not pick you would never see like a sniper pick or a Pudge pick and think, oh, that's awful, they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Even though those heroes are traditionally not considered to be that great, you still see all of these heroes getting picked in a specific setting with certain heroes on their team. So yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think situationally it's actually probably quite good. I think it's really good against like PA and lane because you're just going to be able to Stormbolt her constantly. She's going to give you charges on a wand all the time. You're going to be able to just trade it to Stormbolt, and you can bully PA really hard in lane with that burst damage. I think it still pairs really well with something like a Grimstroke or really anybody aggressive, anybody else that you can stun with. It's probably pretty good against PL in lane as well. Like the stun can't be underrated. It's like one of the best stuns in the game.
Yeah.
And obviously the armor, or not the armor, but the health shield is really good in an offlane role, just because that's kind of what you do anyway as an offlaner.
Yep.
So I agree. I think it's pretty good.
You know, I actually just had a thought from this. So I was sitting here thinking, okay, maybe one argument for Sven not being a great offlaner is just that if he does everything that you would want from an offlane role as a support, then you could argue that it's not a great offlaner, even though this patch is very versatile. Like, for example, Undying is a fantastic hero, one of the best heroes in the game right now, but he's not a good offlaner. And the reason he's not a good offlaner is because he does exactly what he wants to do in the game as a support with no farm. It's the exact same thing of how the hero wants to function in the game. But then I had the thought that what if we like evolve to a meta where you could have a Sven that is an offlaner and takes offlane farm, but he just happens to be the best hero at roaming in the early game. So you just roam as an offlaner, you give your 4 the offlane, and then the 4 becomes a 4 after the laning stage. Like, why hasn't I guess it kind of has happened with Secret a little bit when you see like the support Lunas and stuff like that. Because it's not really a support Luna. That's an offlane Luna.
Right.
It's just that they always pick it with a hero. They'll pick Pudge, and Pudge wants to roam, but they give him the farm in the early game because Pudge needs the levels. Pudge needs to get the flesh heat maxed out so that he's tanky. He needs the phase boots so he has armor. He's not just gonna die in 2 hits. It's like
OpenAI
really
school of thought.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna. That's exactly where I was going with that. OpenAI, they will roam whatever hero is good to roam.
Yep.
They will farm any hero that's good to farm at that point. And it's actually a little crazy to me. I guess it's complicated, but maybe like a year down the line, it's just crazy to me that we haven't evolved in terms of the pub meta, where it's like, oh yeah, you're an offlaner, which means you don't roam at all. You just sit in the offlane, you do offlane things, and then you farm. But it's like, okay, well, what if the carry is actually just the best hero to roam at that point? What if he's just the strongest hero, and then the support's actually really good to farm?
I mean, I think it's totally acceptable.
Viable.
Like, I mean, you know, I'm just gonna say, like, from a Bloodseeker perspective, if you're not roaming level 6 on a Bloodseeker, I think you should be playing a different hero. Like,
I'm thinking even earlier. I'm thinking like gyro roams at level 3 or something like that, you know, with a smoke and have like an Earth Spirit farm.
I mean, I think that you could probably get real deep on power spikes for heroes, like in that like level 3 to 5 base.
That's kind of where I'm going with that, is that it's like it's so deep that it's like kind of convoluted.
Right.
And it would be really hard to execute, but it's cool to think that probably that's a more optimal way to play Dota. And I think OpenAI has kind of shown that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, sure. Like, if you can get to an early spot where you want to take a team fight around a tower and your Crystal Maiden's level 6 because you gave her like 3 minutes of free farm in one of the lanes
as a jug or something, you just give your CM free farm.
And so your CM's level 6, you're level 6, and you can just run at them, and their supports are level 3, and they can't stand in your freezing field for more than 1 second without dying. That's, I mean, it's game winning.
Yeah, that sounds legit. It's like, did you see Liquid siege the tier 1?
No, I was asleep during that point.
Oh my god, dude! They literally 5-manned the tier 1 with like sieging items. Yeah, and they got the tier 1 mid to like 30% HP at level 1. It was the most next level shit I've ever seen. It was super cool.
I'll have to go back and watch that one.
It's nuts. They didn't.
They lost the game though, right?
I'm not sure. I think people were saying Miracle had a really hard game because Kuroki was Abaddon. He skilled the passive at level 1.
Yeah.
For the siege. But yeah,
Funny.
it was still really cool. It was really cool to watch. All right, we'll move on. That was a bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
So lots of chat in the old questions in Alchemists. So creeps spawn at 30 seconds. How long does it take them to make it to the river mid?
Why don't you go open up the game and time it yourself there, bud? But my guess is like about 15 to 17 seconds. Something like that.
Because 15 seconds is backdoor, and if you're sieging mid and you're not keeping the creep wave alive, backdoor will turn on for like 5 seconds. So that means it takes like 20 something seconds to get to the mid tier 3. So the mid tier 1 probably takes like 10 to 15 seconds. Yep. Realistically.
Yep, probably, but all right.
That's like a quiz question.
I know, right?
She's trying to quiz us. Freaking Professor Ravioli. Okay, Souls. Oh my God, Souls is just educating people in here. He's not even.
No questions. He's just
questions. He's.
Cool. He's doing our job.
Yeah, this is great. Souls is giving us money to answer people's questions.
That's exactly what I want out of Dota Alchemy.
Eventually it'll run itself. I'll have like the Jonies and the Jorges and the Souls and the Prime operators just answering everybody's questions. The new patrons.
Yeah.
And then we'll give them a little cut of the percentage, and then we'll just essentially scale to be a pyramid scheme. It'll work.
Hey, you want to buy these overpriced knives? The best knives you've ever bought.
Yo, anybody want to buy some Binge cues? I got lots of those to spare.
Yeah, that's a question for me. I want to know what happened last night.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, you're allowed to shame me when this happens. If I ever do this again, feel free to publicly shame me. I think it's legitimate. Be accountable. What happened last night, Jenkins? Subscribe to chat.
Okay. I mean, I was streaming. I had a really good Sand King game to start the day. That's the bullshit thing, is I tried the Zai build, and I went Spirit Vessel. I was playing with Yawar, so it was a really high-rated game, right? Like, literally the highest-rated game on the fucking planet, and I owned. And
yeah,
then
I watched that game.
And then the next game, Joni was like, $50 if you... No, okay. He said, how much would it cost me to have you play techies in solo ranked? And I was like, dude, I'm trying to get 7K. So I just picked a really high number. I said $50. I think I said 100 to start, but then I was like, yeah, that's, I'm cheap. I'll do 50. And then he actually donated me $50 fucking dollars. So I picked techies. It wasn't going bad. I looked up Alex's RoboVice's build. I looked up his YouTube channel, and I was watching his video on how to play techies.
During the draft?
During the draft, yeah. So I was doing okay. And then we lost. I'm going to blame Ink Dota on that, because he went like 2-17 on Venomancer mid. I think Meepo was banned, so he basically isn't a player at that point. And yeah, then the next few games after that, it was just one of those slow downward spirals where I think after that I had a griefer. I had a Pudge that I had Demon on my team, and then Demon randomed. And then this guy got really angry that Demon randomed. So he picked Pudge, and then Demon died, and then this guy did well played, and then Demon bought back, and then Pudge destroyed his items. And then that kind of set me to be in a poor mood. And then the rest of the night was just kind of, I said, fuck this, I'm queuing until I win one game. And I actually didn't. I didn't win a single game. I lost 15 in a row. And now all of the MMR that I earned in the past 2 to 3 weeks, it's just gone. It's just gone. Like 2 to 3 weeks of hard work is gone in one night. Let me explain to you how bad it was. One game, I had Tralf on the enemy team. He destroyed his items. I had Ellie, my girlfriend, on the enemy team. She was Jungle Lion. I lost that game. I lost to Tralf with no items, and my girlfriend who was playing Jungle Lion with Sammy Boy on my team. Actually, no, he was on the enemy team. He carried them pretty hard. But I lost 4v5 with a Jungle Lion on the enemy team, and I lost because I had two people that were arguing with each other, and then they just both went AFK in the fountain at like 30 minutes. Because that's how it is when you're queuing at 5 a.m. There's nobody who's like mentally stable up at that point.
Yeah, dude. I went to sleep at like 2 a.m. my time, and I watched your first game on stream, and then I played a bunch of games, and I went to bed at 2 a.m. because I made a
You're
video.
just like, oh, this is gonna go well for him. He played really well.
Yeah,
this game.
you were ranked like 400. I was like, damn, his rank's gone up like 200 in the last couple days. This is dope. He's gonna be top 100 soon. And then I wake up this morning to watch MDL and publish a video, and I look at your rank, and you're ranked 700. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Also, he's still playing. Did he go to bed and wake up super early to play more Dota? And I look at
No.
your profile, and it's just a wall of red.
See, here's the thing: is after I played like 12 hours straight of Dota, I played Minecraft, and just I was taking a poop and I was playing Minecraft, and I went to bed and I was playing Minecraft, which probably pisses my girlfriend off because she can feel me like fucking jiggling my arms, hitting rocks and stuff. And I was actually, have you played Minecraft?
No, but
So
I've seen it.
It's like a casual, mindless game, right? So
Right.
I'm sitting there like mining rocks, and the rocks are like half the size of the screen, and I'm fucking missing the rocks. Like I can't aim my at the rocks, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, "Fuck, man! If I can't handle, I've never missed rocks before in Minecraft, but I actually could not aim my aimer. I'm not like shooting at a moving target. It's like
And you were
there's a
playing
rock.
Dota with that mind state before.
I was playing Dota with those mental faculties, and I'm just thinking like, fuck, man, I probably lost about uh, 5 to 10 of these games, of these 15 games, like because I just am awful. Like you don't realize how tired you are.
Yeah.
Your mind, like,
You get on like an adrenaline binge that like
I don't
keeps
know.
you
It's
keeps
like
you
your
kind of
brain
awake. Yeah.
your brain just like doesn't for whatever reason, your brain just doesn't seem to have like a register for, oh, I'm perceiving things shittier because I'm tired. There's nothing that tells you that. It's just that you do something and then you do it slowly and you're like, oh fuck, I'm slow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's weird that your brain is, you don't see things move slower. Your vision doesn't go blurry. There's no indicator. It's just like you feel tired, but that's the only feeling you get, is that like sleepiness. There's no like, oh, my mental faculties are impaired. They just are. And you just realize based on the results that they are. You
Yeah.
know?
Let's answer some more questions. Sorry.
You asked, dude.
I just had to publicly shame you, just so you don't do it again for another month or so.
I don't know. I lost my fucking mind. Okay. Jayori. Who lanes well against a Drow mid lane? Broodmother. I feel like you want a hero with fairly strong right click, damage block, mobility, high enough HP to trade effectively. You do not want somebody who relies on mobility to escape. Yeah, pick Brood. Brood annihilates Drow. That's what Liquid did to beat EG's Drow. That's like the hard counter. Anything that can get on top of her.
Kunkka.
Queen of Pain would absolutely obliterate a Drow Ranger.
Yeah.
She does not have the HP to sustain.
Drow sucks ass for the first like 3 to 4 levels.
Yeah.
You just beat her up during that point.
Yep. I'd say Quap and Brood. Those are two heroes you can learn, and you'll win against Drow every time. If Tide started with a blink, I feel like he'd be perfect. That's obviously ridiculous. Sand King almost. Sand King wants to caustic and use the Sandstorm on melee heroes, so it's not that great against Drow. Shadow Fiend gets bodied by Drow. Yeah. No, you want heroes that can just jump on her and kill her.
Yeah, or shove the wave into her face constantly. Is Death Prophet okay? I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't think so. Just cheese her, man. It's a cheese hero. Just cheese her back. How do you guys counter Meepo? It seems like one of the only Trump picks I can't deal with in games. Winter Wyvern.
Yeah. That's the number one hard counter. Meepo cannot deal with Wyvern. You just hold your curse until Meepo shows up. You just
one hit Meepo.
And then it just instantly kills Meepo every single time. He cannot survive a Winter's Curse. Barring that, you pick somebody that has extremely, extremely high burst damage, and you focus one Meepo. There's no meme like everybody's like, oh, pick Earthshaker against Meepo. It's like, just spreads the damage out, you know?
Well, Earthshaker's particularly good because Echo Slam does more echoes.
Right, it does more, but
for the more units.
You'd much rather just have somebody that can just like one shot a Meepo, right? So
and it's an AoE stun too. Like AoE stunners are really good against Meepo.
Yeah, I think Sven is extremely good against Meepo just because not because of the cleave, but because of the AoE stun and the fact that he does a lot of burst damage.
Yeah, the thing that's I was kind of in the same opinion as you, where it's like, oh, you need to single target Meepo, but then I've like flipped my opinion in the past year or so, just because when you have AoE, it makes the Meepo so much harder to micro. Like you can't just
Yeah, that's
micro
true.
one out.
That's true.
It's like it's not a counter for the reason that people initially thought it's a counter, but it is for a different reason. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've kind of talked about that before. Like the whole purpose of picking heroes in Dota and like playing Dota and itemizing and stuff is to make your opponents miserable on their heroes. So whatever you can do to accomplish that is probably a good idea.
Yeah. Don't let him go late. If you look at Meepo's matches, yeah, Meepo's pretty good late game. You have to like do this whole buyback shenanigans where you have to kill him without buyback, and it's awful.
Yeah.
Okay. PK Panda says, this is a question I posted last week, but didn't quite get an answer. Might have skipped it. Whoops. In the first 15 minutes, the position 5 doesn't roam the map as often as the position 4 does. Should the position 4 be in charge of placing wards? The position 5 drops in base. I feel like roamer should be in charge of placing the wards so that plays can be made, and the position 5 should just focus on the lane.
Didn't we already answer this?
I think we did.
Yeah.
But I think what we said was the position 5 will roam at like timings where you need the wards anyway.
Yes.
Like you need wards for nighttime, which is the bounty rune spawn, which is when you should roam anyway, and when you should probably leave the lane. So it's not a problem for a position 5 to place wards if you're playing it correctly.
Yeah.
And I would say that from most of the replays that I watch, that's one of the I just coached Bobby Boy. His name's Bobby. It's such a generic name. So
Buys are so static in pubs. They need to be less static.
It's like this. Yeah. Every game you can basically roam at that 5-minute mark, and it's going to be good.
Yep.
From replayer view and coaching, that's the one thing. No problem for asking it twice. I don't remember if we went in depth. We might have went on a tangent. God knows we did. But yeah, I think if you roam at the 5-minute mark every single game, around the 5-minute mark, like when it's nighttime, that's such a good timing. Like your carry can probably solo the lane at that point. Yep. You have three wards up at that point. You can place all 3 of them. You can gank the mid lane, get the bounty runes. It's just awesome. It's actually just such a good timing.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. That's it for Patreon questions.
Let's go in with chat. Let's go in with chat. Let's get to know chat a little bit today.
Well, we got Prime Operator. Prime had one more question he needed to get out. He's staring down the barrel of questions and Alchemist, of alchemy answers, and he couldn't think. Because in that moment of weakness, what am I talking about? Okay, so he says, what heroes do you think will be nerfed next patch? Prime Operator. All the heroes that are getting picked at the major, probably.
Yeah. Drow.
Oh god. Please nerf fucking Drow. Please.
Drow will get nerfed. Nyx will get nerfed.
Yes.
Doom will probably get nerfed.
Oh, Doom is gonna be dog tier, dude. That hero's been good for way too long.
Yeah. Let me look at the pick rates.
Shadow Shaman.
Yeah,
Nature's
Shaman.
Prophet. Abaddon, maybe. I mean, Abaddon hasn't been like broken for a long time. So
yeah,
he just came back in. So I feel like he'll get minor nerfs.
Bat Rider, maybe.
Bat always gets nerfed. Pudge is gonna get nerfed. I fucking hate to say it.
I doubt it. I could see Dusa getting nerfed. I could see TA getting nerfed. Potentially.
Oh, Dusa's been viable for way too long. Like, yeah, honestly.
Yeah. One thing that's kind of interesting that I noticed is that most of the heroes that are high win rate with a decent amount of picks are supports at the major. Like the only winning cores that I see are like Darkseer, Morphling, Flesh.
Doom is being played as like support mostly, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've seen anyway. He's super versatile. He can be played like 3 through 5.
Yeah, he's just stupid. That's dumb. It's a dumb hero. Drow being like first pick, first ban as a core and being a 55% win rate is honestly unacceptable.
It just farms too fast. There's like nothing you can do, and then the damage it does like with no items. Like
I find it to be like a really flat play style. I think Drow's really boring. I don't like that sort of thing where you literally just farm the triangle every single game, and if you don't have a team that's coordinated at ganking into the triangle, then you're fucked.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why Brood is so good against Drow, because you can take the enemy's the enemy's like farming triangle.
That's one of the interesting things about Drow is like you basically if you're playing it in your pubs, you basically just want to farm until the enemy team has to run away from you because you do too much damage. Like
that's why it's so boring. It's that every game. Lose lane, farm triangle until you have 20 items, and then run at the enemies, and then they can't kill you.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's not. I don't find that to be a very fun thing.
I find it very fun to play in pubs and solo queue because it's very easy to carry games.
Yeah, it is very easy. You said it.
All right, chat. Put your questions in. We'll take questions for the next like 5 to 10 minutes since we've tangented.
Yeah, let's get the good ones. Let's go deep. Let's go dark. Okay. Ask me about my pooping habits. Let's ask.
Don't. Okay.
Let's talk about the weird stuff.
Meyer Eslami says, in what hypothetical situation would you pick Lich instead of Abaddon as a position 5, assuming you're equally experienced with both? I would say none currently.
Yeah, Lich is dog tier.
I would say that Abaddon's just better in general in basically every scenario. Maybe if your team has 0 D push, you'd pick Lich and try to delay the game. But even then, I think I'd rather just have Abaddon and fight people. Like, dude, I've been picking Abaddon and winning games in like 16 to 20 minutes very consistently because I just keep my team alive during that period of the game where the lanes kind of break down, and in pubs, everybody just kind of runs at each other for like 10 minutes until they realize, oh shit, we're not strong enough to fight. But during that time, if you're playing Abaddon and you just keep your team alive, you end up just snowballing the game in like those 10 minutes and you just end the game. It's super, super easy.
I find Nature's Prophet is the same, where you just can support all the lanes.
Yeah.
To the point where your team can just carry you. Where you don't even need to play Dota because you just like get your team through like a hard part of the game single-handedly.
Yeah.
I need to play more of that hero, man. On my binge queuing, I was just playing like random shit.
That's what happens, man. You got to stick with the ones that win you games.
So bad.
That pulls you out of it. What's the top 5 tips you can give to 2.5k MMR players to elevate their game to the next level? You've been coaching a lot.
What MMR players? 2.5k MMR players? Okay. I mean, I would say, honestly, if you're 2.5k MMR, you're doing a lot of shit just terribly, terribly wrong. And if you start doing like one thing that top tier players are doing right every single game and you just follow it mindlessly, you'll actually be good. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
Because that's better than a lot of the stuff that I see at 2.5k MMR. Being totally brutally honest with you, because I want you to get better. I don't want to just fucking pussyfoot here and try to have you, just like what I'm saying. I want you to get better.
Yeah. Buy more regen in the laning stage, push with catapults, focus on getting bounty runes. That'll just gain you 500 MMR right there.
Yeah, I would say like depending on your role, just go watch like start with laning stage. Just go watch what like pro players are doing. Dota2ProTracker.com. Watch what they're doing and just emulate the builds. Try it out. If they're cutting the second wave, start doing that. Like if you can pick up one thing and it clicks with you, where you're like, oh, this is a really good thing to be doing. That went really well. You start doing that every game. That's literally like 500 MMR that you'll get. It's actually nuts. And when you start getting to like the 4 to 5k level, that's when it's not as simple as just finding that one thing that pros are doing and getting a huge increase. But at 2.5k, you can get a massive increase of MMR by just doing like one thing correctly that is so correct that nobody else is doing in your bracket. Because I guarantee you at 2.5k, nobody's cutting the fucking second creep wave.
Yeah, definitely not.
And that happens in every single game in Immortal. Like there's just such a huge difference between the brackets right now.
Good follow-up question. How do you go from 5k to 6k? You did this on your Smurf pretty recently. So what allowed you to do that?
Okay, well, yeah, on my Smurf, basically some things that I noted about that bracket that's different from the high immortal bracket is that people fight for no reason. People fight when they don't have cooldowns. So you need to get really used to ditching your team when they're doing really bad shit and let them die. And yeah, basically, if you just don't show up to dumb shit, you'll win a lot in that bracket because people just fight like mindlessly. And also just never give up, because people in that bracket, even if they have a way better late game lineup, they will fuck up so hard where they'll die without buyback or something, and you can just end the game. Like, I guess that's the thing, is that in that bracket you need to be very mindful that, like, if you're not having a good lane, it's better to just get as much as you can than to force yourself to try to get more in a situation where you actually can't. Like, let's say you're against an Ursa as a Legion commander. It's not a winnable lane, right? So just do whatever you can to wash the lane, aka just go even in the lane, like cut the creep wave, and then later on into the game you will get an opportunity to carry. That's the thing, is you might not be winning a lane because you can't, but don't just throw the game because you haven't carried the game at that point, because eventually the enemy team will give you an opportunity to carry. They will fuck up somewhere and you'll be huge all of a sudden. It doesn't have to come from the laning stage. That's one realization that I had to have, where I wanted to beat everybody in the lane in that bracket because I felt like I was so much better, but some lanes are not winnable. And then later they'll fuck up in a fight and I'll get an ultra kill, and then all of a sudden I'm a problem, and
Right.
and they just can't deal with me, and I win the game solo. But that wasn't from the laning stage.
Right. How to counter the crazy farming alchemist if you have no position for? Buy a spirit vessel. Doesn't matter what position you are.
Yep.
You can be a carry, buy a spirit vessel if nobody else in your team is buying it.
Yep, agreed. I think that item's busted too.
Yep.
It's like one of the best items. I'm going that item in every single offlaner right now. I see Zai doing that, so
it's so like, good, man. It's so
every
good.
time I copy Zai's builds, I'm just like obliterating pubs, and it's like, fuck. I need to record a replay analysis on that guy, actually, because when I try his builds, it instantly clicks with me why he does the things at the timing that he does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had this realization the other day with Sand King. The way that he builds Sand King is he goes Tranquil Boots, or he goes Brown Boots, Bracer, Tranquil Boots. He rushes the Quelling Blade first. So he goes QB, Bracer, Tranquil Boots, Urn, and then Spirit Vessel Blink. And at each of those timings, I had the realization where it's like, oh, you go Quelling Blade first, because if you're starting with Sandstorm, then you apply no pressure, so all you want to do is last hit. So what's the point in buying anything else if you're just lasting at that point? And then the Bracer is because you get this net worth lead due to Sandstorm being so broken for laning and farming that you just want some efficient stats. And then after the laning stage ends, you could buy another Bracer, but the laning stage is over, so you don't need efficient stats. You need fighting items.
Right.
And then also, that's the point where you start cutting the creep wave. So that's when you want the Tranquil Boots. And then after that, you get the Urn, because that's when you're going to have your Epicenter, and you can in Max Burrow, you can Burrow Sandstorm Epicenter someone with an Urn, and you'll kill them from full HP. And then after that, you have the Spirit Vessel, same thing. And then the Blink Dagger, it's like with and then it goes the movement speed talent. And then with this build, with the Spirit Vessel and Blink Dagger, you can basically solo kill anybody, even tanky heroes, with a full combo and Spirit Vessel. It's just like at each point, the hero feels so strong because of those individual item pickups, where it's like, if you get a Ring of Protection instead of a Quelling Blade, your timings are all thrown off, and you're not going to get that Bracer because you don't have the last hitting capabilities. Sure, you're going to be tanky and survive longer in the laning stage, but you already have it's redundant. You already have the Sandstorm, and you're just lasting at that point. You know what I mean? Like, there's a specific reason for each of the items that he builds. And I find the same thing on Pudge, where he goes for Ring of Protection, Chainmail, then Boots, and he'll rush Quelling Blade first. It's the same thing. Each timing, this is going to be happening at this point, so you need this armor. This is going to be happening at this point, so you need this armor. You don't need Boots because you're not killing people until you're level 4. So that's why you go Ring of Protection, Chainmail, then Boots. You know what I mean? It's not this. You could go Boots first, but then you have 0 armor.
I mean,
and you're just lasting at that point. So why would you want Boots?
Here's the thing about Dota, is that it's a game of logic, right? Basically, Dota is a game of logic, and the better logic that you employ, the better informed decisions that you make, the better you're going to be at the game at all stages. And so if you look at somebody who's winning a lot of games, somebody who's incredibly good, potentially like the best offlaner in the world, potentially one of the best players in the world.
He's the best offlaner.
They're going to be making extremely good logical decisions. And so, it's not random.
Dude,
You don't get to be the best offlaner in the world by being random.
It's not fucking random. I can tell you that from talking with Newsham, and the shit that he's telling me that they talked about on Team, like qualifying for the major. You look at the games and it looks like they're just doing some regular item build, but every single thing that they do is it's heavily nuanced and figured out. They've gone into practice lobbies and they've tested stuff. Like there's so much behind it that you're not seeing that you just kind of want to attribute to, oh, they're a good player, so they know. No, he's done that 100 fucking times by then. Yep. He's theory crafted that for hours. And that's why in pubs, I see so many Pudges bead fucking relentlessly and be useless. And it's like, you're not going chainmail first, man. Zai goes chainmail first. I watched him play 2 Pudge games in competitive and 1 in a pub. Every single game, he did that exact same build because the timings make sense. And if you don't hit those timings, you get level 3, enemy team kills you because you don't have armor.
Yep.
And at that point, you're just CSing, so you don't need the boots.
Yep.
So it actually makes sense. That's why Pudge is actually decent, is because it makes sense to go for that armor, because you're just sitting on the wave, CSing. Then once you're level 4, then you want to kill people because you've level 2 Rot or Hook. Then you go boots, but at that time, if you have the chainmail, you'll be in the Quelling Blade, you'll have farm for that. But people don't do that build in pubs, and they fucking feed with Pudge. Yep. And it makes the hero look dog shit. It makes the hero look awful, because you're not hitting the timing, so the hero can snowball either way so quickly, where you're either just completely useless or unkillable. And I think that's a big problem with people playing that in pubs, is that they're not doing the correct build because they're not understanding why Zai, for example, actually builds those components at the certain times. And then also, whatever Team Secret picks Pudge, they pick it with a greedy 4 roll.
Yeah, like it's all thought out. There's so much nuance to it, and that's one of the reasons why it's so hard to get better at Dota, is because if you want to be a really good player, you can't be lazy with anything you do. You literally have to be so on point and so focused with your decision making that you know whether you should be buying a ring of health, or a ring of protection in this lane before you buy a stick, or you should buy a bracer before you buy boots. And it's like, it can actually come down to these really small things. And you're only going to be making those good decisions if you are 100% focused and really looking for them. And most people just want to queue up and play a game and like click items and click buttons.
That's why you shouldn't binge queue, dude.
Totally.
you have to have your head has to be in the game. It really does. And some people naturally are very good at that. Some people, like myself, aren't.
Yeah.
You have to control it. I don't know. It's but if you're like Donnie and I, where you just really have this urge to queue up and play and just be lazy, you have to really manage it.
Hey man, I haven't been doing that lately. I've been playing like maybe a game or 2 a day, and I'm up like 300 MMR in the last week. What a surprise. Yeah. What a surprise.
Yeah. Turns out you're a good player and you're just
throwing a lot of MMR away. It's like the same thing for me in poker. I was a pretty good poker player back when online was a big thing, but I had a couple very specific leaks that would just like throw a ton of money away all the time. That made me not be a high earning player in the long run.
It's part of the game, man.
Yep.
It's part of the game.
I think you guys should stop preaching MMR. Dude, we don't really preach MMR, to be honest. I mean, you know? Not really.
Yusham's asking me to party queue, and I'm telling him that I have to gain back my MMR, so I can't party queue with him.
You should definitely not play Dota tonight.
No, I'm playing Dota. I'm playing Dota.
All right, let's take like one more question from chat. So
okay.
Throw your questions in there, chat.
When should I pull the enemy creeps as an offlane against a strong safe lane duo? Always. Every game. You should do it every game. Literally every game.
Yep. You guys getting the battle pass? We both already have it.
Yeah. Of course. How long is Donnie's dong? I think it's about a 7-incher, probably. Erect.
I don't know. I'm not gonna pull out a ruler right now.
Will I stream today? Yes, of course. I stream every day. I have a problem.
What heroes you absolutely don't like to play? There's a lot of them, man.
Jesus. Sand King and Pangolier a couple days ago, I would say, but I've learned both of those heroes at this point, and I actually do really like them. I feel like anytime I don't like to play a hero, it's just because I
you're
don't
bad
understand it. Yeah, it's because I'm bad at it, and it just feels bad to be bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think most of the heroes in Dota have been around for a long enough time that they're
all well-made heroes.
They're well-made heroes. They're really well-made heroes. Like they, yeah, this game is pretty sweet.
I really don't like playing micro heroes because I stopped microing when I stopped playing Warcraft 3 and haven't really wanted to play micro since then. So if I'm playing a hero like Meepo, if I'm playing a hero like the only micro hero that I enjoy playing is Lycan, and I really need to practice that hero a lot. Otherwise, I suck ass at him and don't even have fun then.
Yeah. Yep. I think one misconception about microing and playing like hard heroes in general is that they're always going to feel hard, but eventually it's like riding a bike. Eventually your body is just so good at it that it's fun again. It just, there's a period where it's super fucking brutal.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, anything, you can get better at anything if you focus practice. That's like the main thing about life.
Humans are pretty dope, actually. Humans are pretty fucking sick.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for tuning in to Alchemy Answers, episode 31. If you want to be part of the next one with your questions, check out patreon.com/Dota Alchemy. And we'll see you on Thursday for a replay review, which will have slightly different format this week. But again, if you want to be part of replay review, check out patreon.com/Dota Alchemy. Go enjoy the battle pass, and maybe I will be coaching you on those games if you keep up. All right, peace.